What's up, everybody? We are live here with Terry Nelson out of Cincinnati, Ohio. What's up, Terry? How are you?
What's going on, my man? Tell me something good.
I mean, what's good is we just saw each other in Puerto Rico.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fun. And I love, the first time I met you, we were in Tennessee. Just got your energy, charisma. We're both competitive. We come from different competitive backgrounds, but one and the same. If you're competitive, you're competitive. I think, right?
Yeah, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
It's I call you my brother from another mother, sincerely, because when we met, we were after training, we're sitting over there having an adult beverage in a bar, and it was like nobody in there but us, maybe a couple other people.
Yeah.
And it was just the vibe in there. We were just having fun. We instantly clicked. We start sharing war stories and not necessarily in your case war stories, but not in my case just battle stories. But they were very similar. But I appreciated the energy and the vibe that you gave off, and I'm very big on energy, and I just felt yours was special.
Yeah, I loved hanging out with you guys, and I appreciate you taking the time today to jump on here. Like I said before we hopped on, I know Cincinnati's your stomping grounds, but I had to rep Q's.
Yes, I'm representing Long Beach, baby. My Long Beast.
Yeah.
Tanaka gave me these shirts.
Where'd you get that?
My friend from Long Beach, California, Tanaka Smith. So he's along with a t-shirt company. He's gave me my Long Beast. Long Beach Poly. I went to school with a lot of different famous people. Everybody knows Snoop Dogg, Cameron Diaz. Willie McGinnis, who played for the Patriots, Marquez Pope, who played for the Raiders and 49ers, James Burton, who played for several teams, including the Chicago Bears, Mark Carrier, the starting safety for the Washington Redskins, Leonard Russell, the starting running back for the San Diego Chargers. I mean, all those guys I actually played with, not to mention the guys that came after me, Juju Smith-Schuster and all those other guys. But it's just on the wall, you'll see on the front of Poly, you'll see home of scholars and champions. And that's exactly what it represents.
That's what's up. So I want to go back in time, not too long, right? Because we're young, but what did getting into basketball? When did you know that you were, because everybody's dream is a lot of people's dream that play sports is to play at the collegiate level, and then the hand selected go to the pros and stuff like that. So when did you know that you were, that good, that it was one of your dreams to go and play at college, or what does that look like? Because I played sports growing up, but I knew I wasn't going anywhere.
Right. To me, it wasn't until my junior year because I was more into football. I was sort of a childhood prodigy in football because I was tall and faster than everybody that I was playing with, and I played tight end, and the coach Tony and Jerome Bramlett would just throw me like quick pops, and I would race and score 2-3 touchdowns a game. He does a defensive end, and I would get several sacks a game. But it was basketball my junior year, playing in the summer leagues. I was going from my junior to my senior year, so that summer transfer where I started to get. I was stronger because I was playing basketball. I was doing high jumping. The Coach Don Norford, who was the best trainer of athletes in America, won that award several years ago. And he said, why don't you high jump? Because high jumping will help you dunk the ball better. Because I was doing those little stutter steps on the fast break before I go off and take off. So he said, start from the mat and take either 13 or 15 steps back. And then that's how you prepare to dunk the ball. So when I started doing that, it opened up my transition game in California. Everybody likes to press, and fast break and all that. And we end up doing a little circuit in the summertime. And I played against, some stars out there, James Moses and Derek Martin, all these guys that played major Division I basketball. Moses went to Iowa, Derek Martin went to UCLA. And I fared well against them. I started having big games against them. And just so happened that the letters start to pour in. I didn't pass the SAT going into my senior season. So UCLA and USC, those that were giving me letters, never even recruited me anymore because they don't take junior college players. And so Cal State Fullerton was like, hey, we'll sign you right now. And it just so happened I signed in the summer, I signed early, and everybody was like, why Cal State Fullerton? And then the first game of my high school basketball career, I break my ankle. So it was perfect. I didn't play my senior year in football, and I kick myself to this day, Drew, because I thought that my last game in the playoffs, playing football, I got 5 balls thrown to me. I caught 4 of them, and then I dropped the touchdown bomb. It was caught in the lights. And the coach came back to me and said, you know what, I should have, built things around you before, but now here I am. I'm going to build everything around you your senior year. And I said, I'm done. My head was so prideful that I did not decide to play my senior year. They had a good team that year, but I decided to just focus on basketball, and the rest is history.
So I think, a lot of people in high school, even young college, they're emotionally unintelligent, right? Yeah. So I think like athletes, they kind of get sped along through that. You either like get on the pot or get off, right? You kind of have to like your maturity and, kind of has to increase a little bit, because you're like, all right, well, it's not just me. Now I have to worry about a team. I have to worry about, boosters. I have to worry about these college people. Like, we have to win, basically. So what did that look like? Hopefully I kind of shaped that question properly, because I think you just like grow up faster. What did that look like?
Yeah, well, I played on even my Pop Warner teams. We were playing for championships all the way through. So the football part of my career was always playing at the highest level, playing for championships. Basketball, I played on good teams that were not good. Even my high school team, my sophomore year, we lost in the first or second round. My junior year, we lost in the second round. And, my senior year, we lost. I didn't hardly even play. So as my game began to start going on, I always wanted to be a part of a winner. Like, I didn't want to be the best guy on a bad team. I just had no desire to do that. And so I always look for mentors and always look for people that would seem like they had their stuff together. I didn't have a father growing up, so I always gravitated towards men that seemed to have their stuff together and that had a vision for what they were doing and a plan for me inside that vision. So when you talk about maturing and growing up, athletes of today have to model. I used to, watch Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy as Lakers fans growing up, Eric Dickerson, and all the West Coast athletes, and not just see their talent, but read and watch the videos and highlights and see their off the court demeanor and see how they handled themselves. Guys would be walking in with suits. They had briefcases, back in the day, and they represented business. They were walking entities before these guys like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade now, how they're just, icons within the sport. I always looked at how they handled themselves. And so I never want, gangs started to take off in Long Beach, California, especially in '85 when crack cocaine hit California, hit the West Coast, and it started just destroying families. And so I never wanted to be a part of that. So I found myself when I was in Pop Warner hanging over my coach's house, spending the night of his house every weekend. When I got to high school, I was hanging with my cousin and my uncle in Carson, California. And then, once I got a chance to get out, when I went to college, I hung around the athletes and the other guys that were committed to doing the same thing I was doing, which was working on their skills, talents, and abilities and getting better. And then I love to read and write. So reading the stories of people and then writing down in a journal, writing down how my day coming up with different things. Let me tell you this funny story, though. So I'm going into my senior year, and my academic advisor, her name is Mrs. Landon, and I'll never forget this. It's one of the funniest things I ever thought about. She says, all right, you have enough credits to graduate. You need some electives. She said, I'm thinking of getting you into a creative writing class. And I said, yes, because my handwriting is terrible. And she looked at me. She just started laughing, right? And she's crying, and she's trying to grab tissue. She's like wiping her eyes, and she's like, not only that, but it's going to teach you how to organize your thoughts. And I just felt like this small, like ready to pinch myself of this small. And so I had this teacher named Mr. Hand. He was our creative writing teacher, and we would go into class every day. And he would have those half sheets of brown lined paper, like almost like construction paper. He'd have a whole stack of them on his desk. You had to walk in, grab one of those papers, sit down on your desk, and for the first 5 minutes of class, you had to write everything down that was on your mind. He said, don't worry about punctuation. Don't worry about, spelling and grammar. Just write everything that's on your mind. So I'm writing this. This is stupid. I don't know why I got to do this. My stomach is hurting. I haven't eaten. Everybody ate the cereal this morning. There was no milk for the cereal. I had to, all this. I'm writing all this stuff down. And then he says, 5 minutes is up. He say, ball it up. And then everybody try to make a basket, in the trash can. And then he would give you an assignment. And he would say, hey, here's 10 words on a little strip of paper. I want you to write a story. You got 20 minutes. And I would do front and back. And he would say, who wants to come up here and read their story? And every day when we had that assignment, I'm raising my hand. And it was amazing to people that I have front and back, because I get lost in the creativity of words. Words is my number one love language and affirmations. So when I see words, when people talk in physical terms of creative words, it draws me. So people that mentors, I look for mentors that were very descriptive in their criticism. I don't care if you yell at me and all that, but just yell at me with facts. Yell at me and give me the vision.
And give me instead of just oh, you're wrong. No, you're wrong doing. Tell me. Yeah.
Well, you get a lot of frustrated coaches that they don't know themselves, so they vent out to you and they spew out to you. So I would never gravitate towards those people. I don't think God puts you in situations where there's so many options. And so the men that were in my life spoke in terms that I can understand. It's like a combination lock. When they would talk to me, I would get it, because they would use word pictures. The most creative presenters, the best orators, the best coaches are the ones that can say a message that will stick with you like little hooks long past the time that they're gone, because they want to give you principles. And so when you find mentors, when I say modeling, that the guys need to model, they need to find people to model a behavior or a characteristic that they can add to their game. Everybody looks at crossover dribbles and, and 3-point shootings, and everybody knows how to do the Steph Harden side step and the James Harden step back. That's because they study that. But what about the characteristic traits? What about seeing them in the hospitals, talking to kids? What about writing letters back to the people that write you letters? Just little things like that can make a big difference in how people perceive you, because perception is not reality. Is what you perceive to be real. And so your perception changes when you get new information.
So kind of want to talk about that. So how does that translate for you into business, right? Because what did you do after you got out of basketball? You started. Yeah.
Well, got out of basketball, I was trying to find my way in life. I got into actually, start coaching on the high school level, and guys were the coach. I coached at St. X High School in Cincinnati. And the late, great Dick Burning, who was there 40 years, was saying, hey, you got your degree? I'm like, I don't have my degree yet. He goes, man, these guys want to coach you. You're hot. You come off a Final Four team and Elite 8 team. They want to, hire you. And then I went with another one of my mentors, Lannis Timmons, and he got the head coaching job at Western Hills High School in Cincinnati. And he's like, you got your degree? I said, no. He goes, T-Bone, man, how come you ain't got your paper? These people want to hire you. And then so I end up leaving halfway through that season and traveling with the Harlem Globetrotters for a month. So in the Harlem Globetrotters, you're playing in a different city every day. And so we had this bus, and we would call the bus the apartment, because before they had sleeper buses, they would take every other seat out of the coach. So you had your own 2 seats, and there was leg room there. And then you would take your bags and all the other stuff that you didn't put underneath, your snacks and all that, your pillows, your blankets. That would be your – so it was sad, because they traveled 10 months out of the year, and then 1 month they – combine the East Coast and the West Coast teams to make an all-star team, and they go all over the world and they play in these, TV events and all that stuff. They play in different countries, and then they get 1 month off. Then they come back for training camp, but they only see their families in places that they send them to meet them. And I said, this is not the life for me. So I called Huggins and my coach, Bob Huggins. I said, hey, I want to come back and finish my degree. And he said, cool. Why don't you talk to Dr. Meacham tomorrow and go and get your classes? And so I said, he made me a student manager. So I'm doing mail outs. I'm taking classes. The next year, he promoted me to video coordinator. And then once that happened, I actually got my first commentating job with the Cincinnati Stuff. It was a IBL, International Basketball League, sort of a semi-pro team in Cincinnati. I was doing Sports of All Sorts, which is a local TV show on Sunday nights during basketball season. But that was my first commentating job. And then from there, the media just began to grow because I found my niche. I used to want to be the late great Chick Hearns, the Lakers announcer. I used to love how
I
he
don't
would
even
end
know who
games.
that is.
Well,
So
he is the most famous basketball announcer for radio. They used to do simulcast back in the day where they do radio and TV broadcasts combined. So if you're listening to the TV, it's the same thing on radio. And every time the Lakers would win, he would say, "This game is in the refrigerator. The eggs are cooling, the jello's jiggling, the butter's getting hard. As sure as my name is Chick Hearns, I am out of here." And the Lakers win. And then he would end this broadcast that way. So I would take my basketball to a park somewhere by myself and visualize playing a game where I'm sealing the game, making the game play, and hearing Chick Hearn saying those exact same thing. That kind of propelled me. The power of vision is powerful. So that kind of prepared me all the way through the point where I got to the point where I started doing motivational speaking. I was traveling with a company called Griffles, where I was speaking in the plasma industry for 2 years, traveling, motivating, doing transformational leadership. Came back to University of Cincinnati, ran the athletic alumni, the C Club for 4 years. And that led me into real estate, which is the ultimate end game because it's so much fun, so much possibilities. And that's where you and I connected.
yeah, and I like that you said everything starts with vision, basically. Like, I mean, I won't get biblical, right? I know, like,
Go ahead, get it.
But I mean, without vision, the people perish.
That's right.
I mean, it just is what it is, right? Regardless if you're religious or not, that can be a common ground for everybody to meet in the middle on, because families, business, anything like that. So yes. Real estate, that is how we met, and I am glad we met. What does that look like for you? And like, why did you choose, like, did your path just start at EXP? Did it start with, knowing Monica, what does that look like? Because I know mine didn't start like that. I was doing contracting. I even tell people and they kind of look at me and cock their head sideways like, did you just say that? Because I didn't even want to sell a house. I just saw the vision of the business model, right? I just wanted to share it and like help people get out of the rat race, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So, but I'm selling houses now and all that. So, but what does that look like for you? And then, any nuggets you can drop and like anything like that.
Right. So for 2 years in a row, I am hosting the Cincinnati Circle of Champions for top achievers, the top 600 agents, and they were getting all their awards. And so I'm the host. And so as a host, me being comfortable as a public speaker, I'm cracking jokes. I'm making fun of people's names. I'm doing awards, and obviously the wine is flowing at these, realtors. We can tip back some wine, and so the wine is flowing. Everybody's having fun, and when it was over, all these brokers come up and they're like handing me their card, like, "Hey, if you ever want to get into real estate, you would kill it. Your personality, people know you, they love you, And so the president at the time, and she is currently the president now, she came up to me and she said, I invited you. So if you're going to get into, this is Kay Edwards, she said, if you're going to get into real estate, you're going to come and you're going to get under me. And I'll, so she helped me get into real estate. So I was there at Remax for about a good year and a half and loved it. And then I ended up moving to another brokerage, and I only was there 3 months, but the entire time I'm communicating back and forth with Monica Dorso. And the energy, and it was just something about, I told you, the attraction to people, the energy. Same way with you, same way with Monica. She was helping me a lot with my deals. And when I saw the model, I saw it back when I was at Remax, and I was kind of hoping that our team moved over to EXP because I really loved who I was working with, and I was kind of hoping that we can all do it together. But then I had to make a business decision for my family. When I saw the model, I said, I just cannot let this opportunity keep passing me by, because the ability for what we can do in an agent-owned brokerage is just, it's a model that we have not seen before. And so, and I realized that, everything that I've done in business up to this point was on the 1099. So there was no retirement. So I needed something at my age to catch up in years. And real estate is something that you can definitely do. That's why people, when they switch careers, they go to real estate or insurance, because in insurance, you have the residual income. In real estate, there was no residual income, but there's big checks. Well, now we have residual income. And so when I saw that model, I was already familiar with residual income, but then I can build my team like a broker. And I said, man, there's got to be some other people out there that are just like me, that are kind of frustrated in the model that they're in, that want to explore freedom, that don't want the competition of a traditional broker. Because, we hang out, we share secrets, we go to different wine tastings and we have happy hours where we're talking and we collab, we help other people with deals. It's not like that in other brokerages because everybody is competing against each other for clients and houses and all this other stuff. It's just not like that in EXP. It's just totally different. And as much information as you can give people and explain it to them, it seems like they still don't get it until they actually get around the people and see that this is not fake stuff that you're seeing when we post videos on social media. It's not fake stuff. When we're in Puerto Rico, we're having a great time. We're hanging out. We're doing stuff. We're getting training. But then we're hanging out like we're family. It's a totally different atmosphere. And I wanted something to pass along to my children because, when you, as you say with scripture, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And so it's not just an inheritance of wealth, but knowledge, of information, of the journey that you've had. So if everything that you're doing on your journey, you not be able to pass that down residually to your children or your grandchildren, reassess where you are, especially when it comes to the real estate game. In the real estate game, you may own property, you may build a big team, you may get big checks, but how are you going to pass that down? You have to be able to pass it down, grow people within that, and then help them with all the tools and information. We are in a technology age and we are a technology company. So with EXP, when I saw this, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, why wouldn't any agent want to do this? If you're selling 100 homes a year and you're happy and comfortable there, what is your brokerage paying you with every deal in stock? How is he helping you with your retirement, or is she helping you with your retirement? So that kind of stuff just kind of stuck with me. Like, wait a minute, with every deal I close, I can take 5% of my salary of that close at a 10% discount and buy stock and let that accumulate and build and build and build. It's free money. Yeah. And if I'm selling all these houses and I go icon, which means I capped and all of a sudden I sold maybe 20 more houses on top of that, they give me my $16,000 back in the form of stock. No other company is giving you money back. I don't have to worry about profit sharing, because if you spend all your money paying off buildings and fees and taxes, and then you take what's left and give me the candles on the cake instead of giving me a piece of every deal, that's a game changer. And so when I saw that model, it was just a no-brainer.
So any nuggets, I know I want to be respectful of your time and all that. Any nuggets that you'd give anybody, brand new agent getting in the market, seasoned agent, just anything you want to drop, and pens and papers should be out, this will be live recorded. So, or it is live and recorded, so you can just rewatch it. But anything you just like from the time you were at Remax to a short stint at the other brokerage and now what you've learned at EXP, that could help in real estate.
Yeah. One of my mentors once told me this quote. I always listen to, I got mentors. Many of them have never met me. Anybody who is training you in something, whether it's from a book, audio, video, in person, a relationship,
got a lot of those.
If you're taking information from them, they are a mentor. So one of my mentors, who I do know, she told me when she was talking to me about another business, she said, Terry, what's the most expensive thing you can own? So I'm thinking, Bentley, a Bugatti, an airplane, a spaceship, and
B5.
Said, yeah. She said, no, it's a closed mind. And she said, that's the most expensive thing you can own, because you don't know what you're capable of until you listen to the information and you make an educated decision based off information. But people are so threatened in other brokerages because they love their broker, they love who they work with, and they're comfortable. And I'm saying, well, it's changing. The market's changing. The landscape is changing. What's the deal with not just sitting down and listening to the information? Okay, send me some information. Okay, I hear all about EXP. Send me a link. You got some videos or something I can look at? I can send you a drip campaign of just information that you can look at. Take a look at the information. Go put them side by side and see where you stack up. I mean, is it the percentage? Everybody starts at the 80-20 here. So is it the percentage? Is it the cut? Is it the people that you work with? Is it the tools? We use KV Core, which is the best operating system in real estate business. So, and it's $600 a month for those who are not a part of EXP. And for us, it's just part of the deal. We're only $85 a month. I was paying $275 at these other places per month. So when I look at the deals, I'm saying, if I'm an agent, a new agent looking to make a better life, someone who is, fresh out of college, trying to find a way. Most of those people get into insurance because you spend over $100,000 on the education that the job is not even there when you graduate. So they get into insurance, they get into some type of sales job. If you're going to get into a sales job, take a look at real estate, because 3 to 5 years, there's a plan. 3 to 5 years, you can be financially free, building, helping people, buy and sell homes, helping build a team of people, traveling together, building relationships, long-lasting friendships. You know what? When you look at the life of centurions, they eat less than, they eat about 500 to 1,000 calories per day. They take long walks. They laugh often. They drink plenty of water, and they have relationships that span 20 to 30 years that they just continue to meet with, because there's joy in there. So when you look at EXP, it's a different model that's young. The company is young, and we're growing together, and people enjoy hanging out with each other. There's so much training. There's so much resources to grow you as a person. And the fact that, we just found this out in Puerto Rico, that our company purchased Success Magazine, so, and then the Success Magazine purchased all of Tony Robbins' catalog. So all the training, all the back office production and personal development that you're going to get to help you grow as an agent, help you grow as a person, all that stuff is there. You'll never be alone. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. It's one of those things where you can call people like you. You're in Colorado. I'm in Cincinnati. And I feel like, I've known you all my life. Because we just kind of click. But I see you doing your thing. I see you growing your personal brand. EXP is not about growing the EXP brand. You're promoting your brand, and it's just under the roof of EXP. It's sort of like if we were a rap group and we signed with Master P or one of these record labels, or Cash Money. Drake is an icon. Nicki Minaj are icons. Lil Wayne, these are icons in the hip hop community. Very rarely do people know what label that they're on, because it's only the platform that they're using to promote their brand. Yep. And so you as an agent, it doesn't matter what the name of the company is. It's what tools, what instruments, and what platform are they providing for you to be the best version of yourself to help you and your family. Nice.
Well, there you have it, folks. From like putting points in basketball to slinging houses at EXP. I'm super grateful for your time, Terry. Where do you sell at? How can they get a hold of you? And yeah, I'd love to do a deal together.
Yeah, brother. I'm in the greater Cincinnati area. People can reach me on all social medias at TNEL33, TNEL33. My website for EXP is buy and sell with TNEL, BUYANDSELL, TNEL, but buy and sell with TNEL.com. And you'll be able to reach me there if that's how you want to reach me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Next time we're together, I'll probably get smoked, but I'm down to play some basketball. I got hustled, dude. That's it.
It's over now. Come on, man. I got the warranty on my parts have expired about 15 years ago, man. The knees are gone. The hips are gone. No,
that's
I can sell
you to take advantage of it, because I mean, you're probably still better than me.
I can coach you. I can tell you what to do.
All right.
I'm not doing it though, bro.
Yeah.
I can get my little son now. He's a little prototype. He's
all right.
He's 6'2", and he's very muscular and built like I used to be back in the day. Them days are over. Just give me a glass of wine and let me watch.
Yeah, I'll take the wine. Well, I appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure. Hopefully, we're going to run into each other soon. I know. So, I mean, we've done it twice in the past 6 months. So, and we're on the opposite sides of the U.S. And one of them was in a different, out of the country, basically. Mm-hmm. So, but yep, thank you. And yeah, let's go out and crush it.
Let's do it, brother.